Hi guys, it's Miss Patty. We're gonna go to the train museum today and we're gonna see what we can see inside of there. Do you know what a museum means? A museum is where you go to see things and learn about them and experience them a little bit. So if we're at a train museum, what do you think we're gonna see? Trains. If you said trains, you are correct. The museum is called the California State Railroad Museum. And that's the park ranger that works there and the door to get in. It's in Old Sacramento. We're going to see some trains today. Are you ready? Let's go. Hi friends. I'm inside the Railroad Museum. Look. Look what I see. This is a train. Do you see it with the big wheels? There's the conductor. And there's the engine with the tires. And look at the railroad tracks. What are they made out of? Out of wood and steel. And the train is made out of metal. See how long it is? Here is the front of the train engine with the grill and the light. The conductor who drives the train is in there. And this is an exhibit with pictures about building the railroad. Really old pictures of building the tracks. And this is a model of the train. It means it's smaller. It's your guys' size. And here is a map. Do you know what a map is? A map is what tells you where to go. Right there is Sacramento. That's where we live. And the map is of the railroad track, and it goes all the way back to the other side of the country. And this is a picture of a ceremony when they built the first transcontinental railroad, of all the people that were there. Let's go see more trains. Look, here is the caboose. That means the back of the train is where people sit. And look, we could look inside of it. Look at all of the chairs that people sit on when they ride. See, it's a really long car. And there's another engine. And there's an engineer who works on the train and fixes it. And he drives it and makes it work. Whoa, cool. Look at the big tires. Look how long it says. It says look how long it is. And do you guys want to know what these letters say? It says Virginia and Truckee. Oh. And here's another car. This one looks very old. That is another passenger car. And here is another passenger car too. This one says North Pacific Coast, Monterey and Salinas Valley. And look, there are the people in the train. They're getting ready to go on a trip. Do you see their clothes, how they look old and different from now? Because this was a long time ago. And this is the telegraph office. A long time ago, when we did not have a phone, people would talk over the radio and they knew Morse code. And the operator would get the message and they would type it on a typewriter and then they would deliver it to people. See that thing with the paper sticking out right there? That's a typewriter, and that's a telegraph machine and a reader for Morse code. This is the Western Union station, the telegraph office. And this is inside of another car. Look. It's got a table you could sit at and eat food and read books. And look, it's got a sink and a toilet in it. And it's got a kitchen to cook food. With an oven and a stove and a sink. And then it's got a dining car with fine china where you go to eat. Or you go to sit. And it's got a bed that you could go to sleep. And it's got a shower and a sink. It's got a table and chairs to play card games and drink water. And then it has a parlor. A parlor is like your living room at home where you sit on couches and chairs with your family.
What are you doing here, Gavin? Don't run, don't run.
And look, right here are life-size statues of the men who are building the track. See how they have hammers? A statue means it's a replica. And look how they have gloves and work boots. And what's on that guy's face? It's a mask. And they have a cart with their tools. You guys know what masks are. We wear them when we leave our house to stay safe. See, even the railroad guys have masks. This is a picture of the band that played for the celebration of when the first railroad was built. See all the musical instruments, the drums and tubas and clarinets and trumpets. And this is another engine. Do you see the wood logs? The wood logs are what they use to burn for fuel on the train to make it work, to heat up the engine so it will have energy to run. There are the workers. They're statues of the workers who are fueling the train and driving it. This is the refrigerator truck where they ship produce across the country. Look at all the fruits and vegetables. See all of the fruits and vegetables in the crates? They use this car to go across the country to deliver it to people. Look inside of the engine of the train. Look at all the controls and dials that make the train run, and look at all of the pipes for the steam and the levers. All this machinery controls the train and helps it to work and get where it needs to go. And that seat is where the engineer sits. Here's another train. Maybe if we wait long enough, we'll hear them say, "All aboard." Do you hear it? Do you hear it, guys? The train was going choo-choo. Do you hear the metal clacking? That's the workers working on the train. Do you hear the train whistle and the train going? Do you hear that noise? Those are the workers working on the train. And look, these are the brakes and the tires and the mechanisms that make it work. And there's another part of the engine. Look how much machinery there is that the train needs to run. And all these pipes take water and air throughout the whole train. There's a lot of them, isn't there, friends? This is the surveyor. The surveyor is the man who looks at the land and sees where it's safe to build the train. He's kind of like the designer of the train project, the architect. And he makes camp and follows the train. And this is his tent that is his house and his office that he stays in while he's building the train. And there he's looking through his telescope look. We're in the toy train museum part where they have trains, all sorts of different train cars and train engines that people built. They are called models, and they built them at their house. Oh, and this is a railroad crossing sign. It says, "Look out for locomotives, be safe." Oh, and look. Look at the display. See that, man? These are all of the trains that he has built. Do you remember seeing those train cars earlier? Now we're upstairs. I rode in an elevator and we are standing above them and looking down on the trains. Earlier, the trains were bigger than me. Now I'm bigger than the train because I'm higher up. Look at this, friends. This is a model of the building of the railroad, but it's a small model, see? The ones downstairs were a big model, a life size, but this is a little model. Ooh, here's a button that's called Talking Station. Let's see what we hear since we've been learning about hearing. Do you hear it? They're saying all aboard. That's the conductor saying where the train is going. Who's this? Do you guys recognize this train? Who is it? This is Thomas the Train. It's an exhibit all about Thomas the Train.
So this is in the office area. There's normally like
Isn't that cool? And here is a model of the whole train station, the rail yard. Look at all of the cars and the buildings and the tracks and the engines. And the trees and the bridge. Here's another engine. This one says Nevada Short Line. That means it drives locally in the state of Nevada, which is our neighbor. And the engineer is in the train and he's steering it and driving it and operating it. Operating means, who knows what it means? It means making it so it will work. Here is the front of the steam engine. This says Talking Station. Let's see what happens when we press the button.
Part 4, 921, Part 6, 924, Part 2, 911,
hear it? That was the engineer saying where the train is going, and it was the train starting up. Here is the whistle. Let's see what the whistle sounds like. Do you hear it? That is the steam. The steam makes the whistle on the train work, and it's to notify people that the train is coming so they stay away from the tracks so they stay safe. Earlier, when we got to look inside the steam engine, guys, we saw all the old equipment that is used to operate when you use coal and wood to operate the old trains. Now trains run with electricity, and these are the machines that make the electricity run the train. This says power on. Let's see what happens. That says power on. Let's press the button and see. Oh, it didn't do anything. I wonder if the power is off today. Because power runs computers, and electrical power runs TVs, and it runs lights. It runs a lot of things. But a long time ago, there was not electricity. That's when they had to power things with coal and with wood to get them to move. Look, do you see it? Do you see the big X? It's right there. That says railroad crossing. Do you see the arms that stretch up high? That's to tell people in cars and people walking to stop and look both ways and watch for the train. It's for safety. Look, here it is from another view close up. What does that red sign mean? What does it say? It says S-T-O-P. Who remembers what that means? It means stop. It's a safety sign to make sure people don't walk or drive across the railroad track or through an intersection when it's not safe. See, that's the place where you go to buy your train ticket or your museum ticket. You pay your money and you get a ticket to ride the train and to see the exhibits.